what are some of the old areas that are kind of an interest to you? Like you talk about maybe like historical sites, like Old North Hibbing, or the Old North Hibbing graveyard, or Gettysburg. You go nationally, that would seem that what happened there. You seem there'd be a lot of maybe ghosts or spiritual or different things. What do you consider? I don't know what the word to use. The best point of interest, or what's really ripe and turns you on as far as a site is concerned?
Well, as far as northern Minnesota goes, we do have a lot of history. A lot of people don't realize we have a lot of history up here. I don't know if they really go as far as realizing it, or if it's not as commercial as they like it to be. But I mean, this whole area is just ripe with history. Look at Hibbing, for example. We have the Hull Rust Mine Pit. You're not going to find that anyplace else in the world. It's man-made. The Grand Canyon of the North. Actually, someone was just telling me some very interesting stories that people probably don't know about the pit. I would have never realized it. Hibbing moved. We have the Greyhound bus line that started here, which is just an absolutely interesting case of human character, and entrepreneurship, which I'm sure you're very familiar and researched in. You have the gem of the Hibbing High School, which has some claims to it that I would definitely love to get in there, either prove or disprove, so the story can either be remembered or forgotten. The whole high school, it was $3.9 million when it was first built, and now today a lot of the stuff's even considered priceless. And I mean, the students that go to Hibbing, they don't realize how lucky they are until they get out. You got Iron World. We're lucky enough to have a place like Iron World with a research center where you can research your family roots. You're looking at maybe mining isn't the most exciting thing to people, but if you look at the history of mining and how it formed this area, mining affects everybody at the very root. You have things going on in Chisholm, which just absolutely amazed me with the Museum of Mining. Once again, maybe not the most exciting topic on mining, but it definitely affects every single one of us up here. Virginia, you have the old steam plant. Just the technology that they had to use to push, the characteristic steam out of the manholes and heat the, whole town. The traditions that we have that affect our culture, looking at Virginia in specific, you have Landaloon. Who started Landaloon? Who decided to put a big float in that lake? Even going as far as my side of the range with Aurora, 1903, it's been there for over 100 years. It actually moved just like Hibbing did at one point. And then you look at today's history there, they just built a brand new school because they figure that the mining on that side of the range is going to boom because of the new technology that's coming in. So I mean, history may be just a bunch of stories, but they're definitely interesting stories that affect each one of us. So I mean, as far as places of interest up here that I would like to check out, specifically in northern Minnesota, the Hibbing High School, like I said, that would be an absolute thrill to go in there and see what we can find with our equipment, and maybe bring a perspective to people who have said they've had experiences there. Maybe we can find something natural that happened there. Maybe we can find something, paranormal or supernatural. So that's one place that I would definitely like to check out. Other than that, we're very excited to be looking into various museums. I know that's where we actually met up. We have that aspect to look into. I don't know how much we can go into that. I know you guys have granted that, but I'll leave that at your leisure.
Sure.
Then we also have Duluth. Duluth's an absolutely amazing town to go to with history. You have the Glensheen Mansion down there. Many stories swirl around there. They won't actually talk about it because it's owned by the UMD campus or, you know, the association down there. They don't want to talk about it just because they think the stories take away from the education and the history and the beauty of the building. But what they don't realize is that it actually adds to it, because by neglecting the history of it, neglecting the stories, you're neglecting the people that actually formed it. So I mean, those are just some points of interest that I would like to check out in northern Minnesota. There are other places in the state of Minnesota, such as the Palmer House Hotel. I was just talking to the owner yesterday, and she's very open about the history. She shares it with anybody who wants to come in a respectful manner, and I think that's very important. You should be able to allow people to come in and appreciate the history, as long as they, you know, meet you respectfully as well. But yeah, that's definitely another place that I'd like to check out.